What's up guys, it's the Bio Chef here. Today we're going to be looking at organs and tissues of vertebrates. So first let's look at tissues. What are tissues? And no, I'm not talking about the tissues that you use to wipe your snot. I'm talking about the tissues in your body. Basically, tissues are a group of similar cells that work together to perform a specific function. Oftentimes, tissues are called the building blocks of the organs, and here's why. It's because organs are structures made up of two or more tissues that work together to perform a specific function. In this video, we're going to be looking specifically at organ systems, which are a group of organs that work together to perform a specific function or set of functions in the body. There are 11 organ systems you have to know. So I'm going to go over these systems very briefly. I'm going to go into depth about these in a separate video, but the first organ system you get to know, digestive system. This is for food processing. And then there's the respiratory system, which main function is gas exchange. We then have the excretory system, which is waste disposal. The circulatory system for internal distribution of materials. We then have the nervous system, which coordinates body functions and responds to internal and external stimuli. Then we have the endocrine system, which regulates body functions through the release of hormones. The skeletal system, which offers support, movement, and protection. The muscular system, which produces movement and generates heat. The immune system, which defends the body against pathogens. And the easiest one to remember, the reproductive system, because the main function of this one is literally to reproduce. And lastly, the integumentary system, which is a protective barrier for the body, and it helps regulate the body temperature. So take a second, pause the video, write this down, or just take a screenshot. But now I want you to imagine. Imagine that you disassemble all the organs into tissues. I know that sounds weird. I promise you this isn't some Jeffrey Dahmer fantasy. Just imagine that you disassemble all the organs into tissues. And then you sort those tissues into boxes based on how similar the structure and function are to each other. Remember, there are a lot of organs in the human body, but how many boxes do you think they would be put into? If you said 4 boxes, then you are correct. There would only be 4 boxes that all the organs in the human body would separate into. And what are those 4 boxes? These 4 boxes represent the 4 main types of tissue found in the human body, which are the epithelial tissue, the connective tissue, the muscle tissue, and the nervous tissue. So, what is the epithelial tissue? The epithelial tissue is a type of tissue found in the body that lines the surface of organs and forms barriers between different body compartments. It is made up of closely packed cells that are tightly bound together and can be found on the surfaces of internal and external organs, as well as lining the cavities of the body. The epithelial tissue has several important functions, such as protecting the body from injury and infection, regulating the exchange of molecules between different body compartments, and secreting and absorbing substances. Now let's look at connective tissue. Connective tissue is a type of tissue in the body that provides support, structure, and protection to other tissues and organs. It is made up of cells and extracellular matrix. If you don't remember what that is, it's basically a mixture of proteins and other substances that give connective tissue its strength and flexibility. Connective tissue is found throughout the body in structures such as the tendons, ligaments, cartilage, bones, and blood vessels. It has several important functions, such as providing support and protection to other tissues and organs, connecting different parts of the body, storing energy, and playing a role in immune function. So let's look at the muscle tissue now. What is the muscle tissue? It's a type of tissue in the body that is responsible for producing movement and generating force. It is made up of cells called muscle fibers, which contain specialized proteins that allow them to contract and relax in response to nerve signals. And lastly, nervous tissue, which is a type of tissue in the body that is responsible for transmitting electrical signals and information between different parts of the body. It is made up of specialized cells called neurons, which have a cell body, dendrites, and an axon that transmit signals to other neurons or muscle cells. So that's going to be all for this video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.